I'm joined now by Dr. Carrie Brown, owner of Banner Biofeedback, and today we're talking about concussions. Dr. Brown, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
What is the definition of a concussion, and what are some how common are concussions?
So they're more common than you think. A concussion is a mild traumatic brain injury. And if you think about your brain, we have this nice, tough skull on the outside, but your brain is really soft and fragile, almost like a piece of jello inside your skull. And so whenever your head hits something or is jostled really hard, your brain kind of goes back and forth. And when your brain hits the inside of your skull, it can cause an actual injury to your brain. And that's the kind of clinical definition of a concussion.
What is EEG neurofeedback training, and how could it help individuals who are recovering from a concussion?
So that is it's a non-invasive way that we can train your brain to help alleviate some of the concussion symptoms. When you are concussed, the best treatment for that is just rest. And if you go to the hospital because it's bad enough, they're going to x-ray you, see if you have a skull fracture. But mostly they're going to let time kind of do the healing. And we can't help with the healing part of it, but what we can help with are the symptoms that go along with a concussion. So a lot of times you see things like headache or blurred vision, even emotional disturbances like anxiety or depression, sensitivity to lights and sounds are all typical concussion symptoms that can happen. And a lot of times those things will linger on and really hurt somebody's quality of life, even for months and even years past the actual concussion date.
How can the training help?
So what we do is we go in and we scan your brain and we look for areas that are over or underperforming where we would want them to be. So if you injure your brain in a certain area, it's going to affect that brain functioning. So for instance, if you injure the back part of your brain, if you get hit in the front of the head, your brain hits the back part of your skull, meaning it can sometimes mess with your vision, and you start to have real strong sensitivity to lights. And so we can actually do training to help bring down that sensitivity so you're not as sensitive to the lights. Brain fog is another one where people just feel like they really can't think straight, and that's because they've hit a different part of their brain that can contribute to that. And so we do a series of trainings with them after assessment that helps them to regain that normal brain functioning.
And will they be able to regain the normal brain function permanently?
Yeah, once you do it, it's permanent. It's kind of like you're actually creating new neural pathways in your brain on how to operate. So once you learn it, it's kind of like riding a bike. You don't forget how to do it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How can we get more information?
You can find us at bannersolutions.net on the internet, and we're happy to answer any questions.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Brown, so much for joining.